Hello everybody. It is me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am live and loving it tonight. It is Sunday, December 1st, 2019. Eric, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for jumping on. It is the last month of 2019. I am so excited about rounding out 2019 strong. I hope you are as well. And I'm really looking forward getting geared up to 2020. Pam, hooray! Carol, I'm glad you're here. Wow, you guys, you're here. Awesome. Samantha, I'm glad you're here. Mwah and mwah. So glad to see you all. Oh my gosh. We're going to be talking about something tonight that is powerful, and I don't know if you've ever heard it before. You may have. If you have, I want you to just consider if you've applied it. But I think some of us have never heard this before. So we are going to talk tonight, the first in a 3-part series. Welcome, Rich. Welcome, Jan. Good to see you. Oh, man. Yeah, this is fun when you guys start talking. Oh, Colin, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Oh, Colin, you've got some great stuff out there about grief. If you guys haven't checked out Colin's postings on Facebook, he posts a lot of things about grief, and they're really, really helpful. I find them to be very helpful when I'm grieving or when I'm helping others who grieve. So thanks for being here, Colin. All right, so we're going to do a 3-part series on present, not perfect, or how to have a Merry Christmas. How to have a Merry Christmas. We say it all the time. We hear it all the time, but something tells me not all of us are having the kind of Merry Christmas we thought we were supposed to have. Tanya, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, present, not perfect. Part 1, we're going to talk about this. For versus with. For versus with. If you're taking notes, it'd be the FOR, doing things for people versus doing things with people. Charles, I'm glad you're here. Gosh. All right, let's get started. Part 1 on how to have a happy holiday, how to have a Merry Christmas. For versus with. So in 2018, toward the very end, somewhere around November, early November, I decided I wanted to select a word that was meaningful to me, something that I could really focus on with intention, and I wanted that word to carry me through the end of 2019 and all the way in through 2019. And the word that I landed on was the word with. With. And you'll understand it a little better when you compare it to for. I wanted to do things with people, not for people. I was so tired of spending my time doing things for people without really exploring the connection that comes with doing things with people. So that was the word I chose. And I decided on Thanksgiving of 2018 that I was going to start living by my word, doing things with people, not for people. I host Thanksgiving at my house every year. It depends on who's available, who's able to come and share dinner with us. Last year, it was my immediate family and my sister and my brother-in-law, so there were a few of us. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And I approached it totally differently than I'd approached any other holiday in all of my married life, for sure. And I decided that instead of trying to make it perfect for everybody, I was going to make it a holiday that I did with everybody. And so instead of me preparing all the food and telling everybody, oh yeah, you don't have to bring anything. Yeah, I'll take care of everything. You just come and plan on relaxing and having a great time. And there's a place for that. But instead of me doing that for this holiday, I said, yeah, would you mind bringing something? What do you make? What's good? You can bring something. Let's make it potluck. And then when my daughter asked, can I come early and help? Instead of me saying, no, you can stay at home and get the kids ready and then you guys can all come together as a family, saving her some time, saving her some trouble, I decided that I wouldn't do Thanksgiving for her. I would do Thanksgiving with her. And I said, Olivia, yes, please come early. Please help me cook. Please help me get things set up. So she came early. My daughter-in-law came a little bit early. My son made a dessert. It was amazing. But I didn't just notice this wonderful change during the dinner, before the dinner, the stress and all of that. That's not where I really noticed the significant change, because I'd asked for all that. I'd asked people to please bring something. Where I noticed a huge difference was at the end of the meal. And without me saying anything, people got up and started helping clear the table. They started scraping the dishes. They started packing up food. In all my years hosting, it was very rare for anybody to offer to help me clean up. And Mike Evans, I know you always did, so I'm counting you in. Don't think I overlooked it. But I had never had everybody just pitch in and work elbow to elbow, side by side, getting everything cleaned up like they did last year. And I know this is why. It's because when I was trying to do everything for them, they weren't a part of anything that was going on. I set the tone. I set the tone by saying, no, you don't have to help. And we do that, right? We beat ourselves up because we're not having a great holiday, and we've brought it on ourselves. We've brought it on ourselves because we've decided we're going to do things for people instead of with people. Are you hearing me? Do you do things for people, or are you doing things with people? This is what I want us all to embrace as we come up on the next almost 4 weeks before, it's quite a while. We got a long time here before Christmas, 24 days in between now and the 25th. How can you take this idea of doing things for people and transform it into the notion of I'm doing things with people? I'll tell you why it matters. Because when we do things for people, we work in isolation. We isolate ourselves. No, I don't need your help. No, you sit down and watch the football game. No, that's okay. I'll pick it all up on my way. Time after time after time during the holidays, we make the decision to do things for people because we want to isolate ourselves from the connection that comes with doing things with them. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. When we say I'll do it for you, we isolate ourselves. I build a wall. No, I don't need you. I'm good. I'll stay over here. It's safe here. I don't have to worry about you doing it differently than I do it, right? I don't have to worry about maybe getting in your way or you getting in my way or stepping into my space. I can just do it all for you, and then I don't have to worry about any of the connections. The problem is those connections are what matter. We isolate ourselves when we do things for people. We connect ourselves when we do things with people. This is the other thing that happens when we do things for people instead of with people. We get stuck in this notion of perfection. I'm getting ready to call you out on something, but I'm going to read this comment first. Carol says, I have such a hard time with that. I would really have to think about and change. I didn't know I was building a wall. It's something to consider. It's something to consider when we are always doing things for others. We're on a different level than they are. It doesn't necessarily mean we're condescending. Sometimes we're doing it to serve, and that's absolutely important. And so I don't want anybody to take away this idea that it's never appropriate to do things for people. We honor people by serving them. But we can't spend our entire holiday season with all of our friends and our family and all of the events and everything and all the busy up and down and back and forth We can't spend all of that always doing things for. At some point, we have to do things with, or we will build that wall. Thanks for sharing, Carol. All right, I'm getting ready to call you out on something. Sometimes the reason we want to do things for people is because we tell ourselves we want it to be perfect for them. Have you ever said that? I want it to be perfect for them. I want this to be perfect, so I can't allow anybody to join in and mess it up. I want it to be perfect. And what we really mean by that is we want it to be perfect for us. They aren't expecting it to be perfect. I think I've hit a nerve with Pam. I've hit a nerve with Pam. Wow. We say we want it perfect for them, but the truth of it is we want it perfect for us. And this is why when we want to do things for people and we put that pressure on ourselves that it's perfect, we are trying to avoid shame. I did it wrong. I failed. It wasn't quite right. I want it to be perfect for everybody. Nobody can mess it up. If somebody else is involved, they're going to perhaps do it differently than I would do it, right? And we tell ourselves we're doing it for others, but that's not what others want. What others want is to be able to be with us. They want us to be present, not perfect. We can get so caught up in being perfect, thinking we're perfect, trying so hard to make the holiday perfect, that we totally forget the reason why we're doing it, which is so that we can bring joy to the people that we are trying to serve. And we risk embarrassment and we risk shame if it doesn't look exactly like that magazine or exactly like that TV program, right? Sometimes we're working so hard to make it perfect because we have a reputation to uphold. We've got status that we're trying to protect. This is pressure that we can lay aside. I promise you, the people in your world that you are celebrating with during this holiday season, they do not expect perfection. They don't expect perfection from you. What they crave is for you to be present with them in the moment. I'm thinking of all of the busyness that we can do during the holidays, trying to make it perfect, making sure all the deviled eggs look just right, just the right amount of paprika sprinkled on them, right? Everything's got to be just so. Pressure, pressure, pressure. The Jell-O's runny. Oh my gosh, it's the apocalypse. What are you going to do? The Jell-O's running. Ah! We panic. Why? For some reason, we've convinced ourselves that they want everything looking like a House Beautiful magazine, but they don't. They want us. The people that you are with during the holidays want the exact same thing you want. You want to feel loved. You want to feel accepted. You want to feel embraced. They do too. And our need for perfection causes us to do things for people instead of with them. Our status sometimes is at risk. Shannon is a wonderful hostess. Well, maybe so. But if Shannon, and I speak from experience here, but if Shannon has 3 or 4 days to recover from having hosted a family party where I refused to allow people to help me, refused to allow people to participate, refused to allow anything to be less than perfect, and didn't sit down for 12 and a half hours, that's a problem. It's pressure we put on ourselves. I think that's the most important thing that we can take away from this 3-part series. It's this. You can choose to think about this holiday season differently. And when you do, you are going to shed pressure, you are going to shed stress, and you are going to be more open to the meaningful things that actually feed our souls. And one of the ways we do that is not doing things for people, but saying, I'm going to do things with people. And that includes our family. How much pressure have you ever put on yourself to make sure that you had that perfect gift for your kids at Christmas? Have you ever put an expensive gift on your charge card because you were trying to do something for somebody to make their holiday perfect? And what they really crave isn't you being perfect and giving them the perfect holiday experience. What our kids crave, what our family craves, what the people around us crave in our hearts is not the perfect Christmas. They crave the presence, Presence, the presence of people who really understand what matters and what's meaningful. When you open yourself up to doing things with people, you are including them. Now, all of a sudden, you have equals. You have equals. They're capable of serving too. You've got a team. You've got a group of people who feel not like they deserve to be waited on hand and foot, or they don't feel like they're less than your standards. So the runny jello that they brought is, going to be horrible and you'll never use it. No, when we include people, we allow them to feel as powerful as we are. We allow them to see themselves on the same level as we are at. And you may not know it, but there are people in your life, at your work, at your school, at your church, in your home. Some of them are children. Some of them are grown-ups. There are people who look at you and think, that person's got it all together. I want to be like that person. And when you include them in your plans, in what you're doing, you give them ownership, you empower them. Carol, I know you understand the empowerment piece. When you empower people to be able to be with you during the holidays, to do things that are meaningful with you, you have given them a great gift. This is the other thing. When you do things with people, you are acting with authenticity. Authenticity. You're real. There's a risk that comes with doing things with people because they sometimes see the meltdown that happens before everybody arrives at the party, right? And I am not the only one I know who's had a meltdown before everybody arrived for a party. I know I'm not alone, but it's been a long time since I've had one because I've learned to do things with people, not for. The pressure to have things perfect can drive us nuts. I am remembering one year, my whole family, and my side of the family is large. I have 5 brothers and sisters, lots of grandkids. We have a lot of people, probably around 30 people, coming over to my house for an event called Bobo Fest. Because my maiden name is Bobo, B-O-B-O. Feel free. Go ahead and laugh. All right. My husband dubbed it Bobo Fest. 30 people coming. I am so caught up in doing things for people that I am screaming my head off. I am yelling at my children. One of them's over, I remember, on the couch just sobbing. The other ones are hiding in their bedroom. These are little tykes. I'm talking maybe, 10 years old, the oldest. Little kids. And I am running around the house screaming like a banshee. I have got a can of paint. This is an hour before a major party is going to start at my house. I have a can of paint, and I am trying to paint the legs of a chair that I hadn't quite finished. An hour before a party starts. The pressure to have it be perfect for everybody was so overpowering that I made not just myself miserable, but everybody around me miserable. Do you think for one moment that my children sat back that day, and this makes me weep, when I think about how misguided I was, where my focus was going, and how fruitless it was, I was so worked up and trying to make things perfect that I forgot to be present with my family. I forgot what really mattered. Do you think any of my children look back on that Christmas and think, whoa, that was amazing. Did you see how my mom had covered that one chair and then used to be brown and now it was white and she touched up the legs at the last minute? Whew, boy, what a time of joy around here. No, they did not think that. I hope they do not remember that day. My husband took me aside and he said, we've got to talk. This has to stop. You are making everybody miserable and for nothing. Because the people that were coming into my home were people that loved me. They loved me. And you know what? They didn't need to see my perfection. They needed to see my authenticity. What they needed most for me during the holidays was permission for them to not be perfect too. They needed to see me being less than perfect. I've said this before. When we share our successes, when we only show our successes to people, we build walls. And when we share our failures and allow them to see our vulnerabilities, we build bridges. We build bridges. When we do things with people, yes, they might see the real us. Yes, they might see that we just put a bunch of dirty dishes in the oven and shut the door. They might see that. But you know what else they're seeing? They're seeing the real us. They're seeing the real me. And they realize, I can do what she's doing. She's keeping the important thing important. She's doing the important work by spending time with people. Those of you who are familiar with the Bible, the story of Mary and Martha comes to mind. And it's such a beautiful picture of what really matters. Mary and Martha have a dinner at their house, and Jesus Christ, and this is the perfect time to talk about it, it's Christmas, Jesus Christ himself was dining at their home. And Martha was all about being perfect, and she was all about doing things for. And her sister Mary was all about being with. She was all about being with Jesus. And Martha was not happy. And she gets to yapping. Oh, Mary, there she is. She's out there having a grand old time. Got her feet kicked up. She's doing nothing but chilling, and here I am doing all the work. Blah, 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 blah. And Jesus said, Martha, Mary's doing the better thing. Thanks. Thank you for what you're doing. The meal's great. The environment's welcoming. Thank you. But Jesus wanted her to know the more important thing is being with. Being with. Not doing for. When we do things with people, it's not about entertainment anymore. When we allow ourselves to do things with people, it's about engagement. We're in it together. We're talking, we're connected. People are bringing their best self. They're bringing their best gifts during the holidays. Isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want? We want to bring our best gift. I'm here to tell you, excuse me, your best gift is not the perfect gift. And hello, your best gift is not the perfect gift. Your best gift is the gift that you give that allows the people around you to connect and be part of what's going on. When we do things with people instead of for people, it's not about control anymore. Doing things for people keeps us in control. I'm in charge. I'm the boss. I'll handle it. Don't you worry. And nobody's going to see me sweat. Right? Nobody's going to see me sweat. It's going to be fine. It's all about control when we do things for people. But when we collaborate and do things with them, that control goes away and collaboration rises to the top. And collaboration is where the power is. It's like 10 to the 10th power. It's exponential. It's exponential multiplication instead of just addition when we collaborate. So I want you to know, this is just part 1. Part 2 and part 3 are going to help you also, but just live with part 1 this week. How are you looking at the holidays? I made a joke in my Facebook announcement how we get all excited on November 1st. We're still picking candy corn out of our teeth from the Halloween bag, and we're singing at the top of our lungs with Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. And it seems like it goes downhill from there. We never feel as excited about Christmas as we do on November 1st, and then the pressure starts to build. Our spirits go down, the pressure goes up. I don't want us to live like that. So, step 1, don't do things for people. Do things with people. How can you join together and do good? They don't expect nearly as much from you as what you think. What they truly crave, what every human truly craves, this holiday season, doesn't matter if it's the holidays or not, what every human truly craves is connection, authenticity, being heard, somebody who listens. These are things we do with people, not for them, but they are the gifts that truly make the holidays meaningful. You don't have to be perfect. Be present, not perfect. Julia, I'm glad you're here. And thank you for all the hearts and the kind words. So, this holiday, this next 3 weeks and some change, how are you going to do things with people, not for? Where do you need to lighten up just a little? Where do you need to make the phone call and say, hey, would you like to join me? Even if you're serving someone else, if you're serving others, having a Christmas tea, if you're going to sing at the nursing home, whatever you're going to do, what would happen if, you did it for those people? Maybe you go serve at a soup kitchen. Yes, go and serve those people. But what happens if you take somebody with you and do it with someone? Everything changes. Everything changes. First key to success during the holidays, do it with people, not for. It's been a great word for me in 2019. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear of your fiascos where you got all worked up about doing it for people and maybe it didn't go quite so great, right? Build a bridge, share your failure, let us learn from it. Or I'd love to know, how do you deal with the pressure during the holidays? This is a good place to get it out there. Give us some tips of how you deal with it. How do you keep yourself from caving under the pressure to be perfect? Thank you for tuning in. Mwah! I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Can't wait till next week. Next week, we're going to talk about this. Open hands versus closed hands. Open hands versus closed hands. That will be next week, part 2 of Present, Not Perfect, or How to Really Have a Merry Christmas. I look forward to joining you. I'll see you soon. Bye.